Hello everyone. So on this year's to-do list, today is May 7th. I'm getting limbs of the maple tree cut out that were, because it was growing completely over the garden. So I'm getting those cut out, and then I'm also getting the hill tilled up because I cut some stairs up into the hill, or the side of the hill, and now Mark's stepson is here helping me. You know, for one, I don't have a chainsaw. If I had a chainsaw, bet your ass I would get up in that tree and do it myself. That's what I did with the sourwood tree in the front yard. I got up in the tree, just climbed the tree one day and cut all the limbs I could. But yeah, I don't have a chainsaw, so I have to get help. So he's cut a lot of the limbs out, and I'll show you guys. I should have took it before, but I'm sure you can see it in different videos, but I will show you what it looks like when it's all done. Because it's already, he's only cutting one limb out, because it's one limb that's growing directly over the middle of the garden and shading a lot of the garden. I've already had to cut this tree. It's the sugar maple in the back. It's the big one on the hill. I've had to trim it already 3 times since I've lived here, which is not bad. That's like 3 times in 6 years. I've lived here for 6 years, so that's not bad. No, 5 years. I moved in 2016. Anyway, so I'm gonna show you guys what's going on. Okay, so let me show you how much he cut out. And he's not coming back till tomorrow to do the tilling, but you can see, let me go under here, you can see all that on the ground there. So up in here there was a big old branch. You can see that branch right there, the big thick one right here. It was going all the way out, and it was hanging about halfway over this bed right here. And it was shading all of this stuff over here, the bee balm and all that, pretty heavily. See, I wish I can get up there and cut just a few more limbs out, because it's growing heavily towards the south and the east, towards the southeast. Obviously because of the sunlight, but it's, you know, growing over the house. So, but still, that opened up, it just opened up the canopy, the roof of the garden, you know. I still like the, you know, I don't know, the solitude, this feeling it gives you when you're underneath this tree. I like the solace from the hot sun. But yeah, plus this is mostly a shade garden, so all these plants are shade plants. Well, most of them. I have to move some of them. Some of them are not shade plants, and that's a shade garden. So we got all the plants in the greenhouse right now, and it's looking good. It's been kind of cool, windy. You could see the stairs, so I'm gonna be plowing up here, this whole area. Well, I can't. You see where the walnut tree, this walnut tree here, the drip line, meaning how far the branches extend, I can't plant anything under there because nothing will grow. As you can see, the grass up there, I mean, this area back in here, I didn't mow that, and so it just doesn't grow because the chemicals that the black walnut tree produces, not a lot of things agree with it. So I can't plant anything. So I'm going to be starting over near this privet hedge that I just trimmed. I trimmed that up recently. I need to trim some more on this side, actually, to make it kind of a lollipop shape. But maybe like over here, so I bought some chicken wire, or some, like, it's like chicken fencing, And I'm going to be making trellises out of that. Possibly, I'm going to be making like little archways to grow bottle gourds under, cucumbers, and anything else really. All the things. I put some bird feed out here in the backyard. One over there on the arch. And of course I throw all my scraps over here because this is kind of like composting. There's so many worms in the soil, you guys. This soil is so healthy. And I just planted a ton of shade garden seeds over here. So all of this within a couple of years is going to be full of the sweet williams and the poppies and all that kind of stuff. Speaking of poppies, I've got, so these are the things I'm going to be planting next. So these are all direct sow. I'm waiting for it to consistently stay warm. I'm waiting for the temperatures to consistently be warm before I plant the rest of this stuff outside, because you want warm temperatures for these things. So I've got a ton of stuff in here, at least, I don't know, 20 packets of things. But I'm going to be having, let me move this angle. I'm going to be having Mark's stepson till me a bed, like a square bed in the front yard. And also I'm going to have him till a strip here on the east side of the house. Because I want to eventually make like a fence, a living fence, you know. I want to put some stakes along it and then string up some twine, some garden twine or whatever. And just make like a hodgepodge, but let plants grow up over it. And see, I want it to, because if you get like morning glories, you know, and I'm going to obviously put the bed closer to my house than the neighbor's yard so that the seeds don't spread onto their property. But I just want a border. I want more. I have a lot of space and it's mostly grass. Just know if you don't have garden beds in your yard, you just have grass, just know you could take a shovel and rip that grass up and you can plant there. All the beds you see in my yard, I dug them. There's no bed in this. There was absolutely no gardens in this at this house when I moved in. None. Zero. There was the rose bush in the front yard and what else was here? The peonies on the side, but they weren't even dug into no garden bed. There was 0 garden beds. It was just all grass. You can dig, you can take a shovel and you can rip up the grass and it comes up in like a mat. And you just till, and usually it has sufficient nutrients. You really don't have to amend it much. Depending on your soil, obviously you want to still do like a soil test or, you know, look around at your neighbors and see what other people are planting, and that will give you a clue, or at least open the door to easy things that will do well for you. You know, because you can get discouraged a lot and very easily when you buy like things that just because they're pretty, without kind of investigating if they do good in your area, and then they die and you kind of get discouraged and you don't, you know, a lot of people don't really move further than that. They just think that they suck at planting and they suck at gardening. No, you just have to work with your environment. It's like a symbiotic relationship where you find the perfect home for the perfect, with the plant. And so if you don't know anything about plants, just look around and like download a iNaturalist or Picture This app. And those have worked pretty well for me. They're like 90% of the time they're accurate. Of course, the more people who interact with the app and take pictures of different plants, the bigger the database gets, and thus the more accurate it gets. So obviously, but just start to look around at your area and the places and the plants that you see all the time in other people's gardens. That can give you, that's a great doorway to open up the plant world for you if you don't know what you're doing, or you just don't have any experience, and you don't have anybody to ask. Just a couple things to know. Know your zone. Know your soil type. And know your climate. Like, and you know, really, gardening, it really gives you, it fulfills you in a way that nothing else really can. It kind of, I don't know, it puts you in that same role as like a mother, you know. It helps you to pour your love and your need, possibly. I have a need for nurturing. I have a lot of love to give, so, you know, that helps me channel it into something productive. But yeah, I will be back tomorrow, and I'll show you guys the beds that we dig up. Okay, so we got Mark's son here. This is Ben, his stepson. But he's super helpful. He does a lot of, like, he mowed, a couple years ago, he mowed that field back there. He's cut down a few trees for me. He's, I think he's done some stuff on the roof for me. He does a lot of stuff for Mark. He's super helpful. But anyway, he's up there tilling, as you can see. That whole spot, I couldn't go over where I wanted to, which was originally going to be further over. I couldn't go that far though, because the freaking drip line of the walnut tree would have been counterintuitive to try to plant under that walnut tree because of the chemicals that fall that come out of the husks of the nut itself. It's basically poison to most plants. There's a few plants that can survive under black walnuts, but most can't. And I guarantee nothing that I wanted to plant, like my bottle gourds, and my cucumbers and some tomatoes, nothing like that would have survived over there. So it would have been stupid for me to do that. But I will show you guys. We'll go out there when he's done. I don't like to be up in his business. Me and him, we've known each other for, you know, as long as me and Mark have been together. He's my age. But yeah, we're not like friends, you know. So I don't like to go out there and like bug him and talk to him and stuff. So I kind of stay in here and mind my business and just tell him what I need done and then run back inside. That's how I am with people, you guys. Like, I am so, it's not that I'm antisocial. It's just like, I know that I'm going to say something strange and people get the wrong impression of me. They think I'm a lunatic because of the shit I say. You know, and it's because I usually get to the deep, weird things pretty quickly. Like yesterday, I was showing Ben up there where to till, and he was like, "Oh, so you love to garden?" I was like, "Yeah, I love it. I'm in school for it." I said, "I grow mostly witchy herbs and medicinal stuff." And he's like, "Witchy?" You know, it kind of freaked him out. And then he left to go get something, and I didn't think he was coming back. I honestly didn't think he would come back. But, you know, Mark has been with me for 10 years. They've known I've always have been open and honest and like just say that I'm a witch. I don't like try to pretend that I'm not. I don't have all this weird stuff in my house and say, "Oh no, I'm not a witch," you know, because like obviously I am. But I think what it is most people have the term witch. They already have this preconceived notion of what that is, and they think it's evil. Which I understand. I really do understand why people think that. So I'm just here on a mission in this life to convince people that being a witch is not evil. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. I will show you guys the space when he's done. Okay, let me show you guys what he did. So I've got this side over here. This is a full sunspot. Gives me so much room. So much more room right here. I was going to have him do the front, but there's just too much buried in the yard up there, so I'll just do that myself with the shovel and stuff. But this is great. So I'm gonna finish this bed. I'm gonna be finishing this bed all the way to the edge, and then up here on the hill, oh, perfect. See, this is out of the range of the walnut tree, so we've got all this room up here. So this is about, I don't know, 10 feet of room, more planting room, and you could see I trimmed up that privet hedge to make it kind of into a lollipop shape. I think it looks really cute. And I opened up the trunk area. It was all congested with little branches and overgrowth. Now it looks a lot better. But yeah, that's going to be great. So I'm going to be putting like a cattle panel, not really a cattle panel, it's like chicken fencing. I don't know, I'll have to show you guys in a minute. But I'm going to be making an arch out of it, a couple arches, so I can grow my bottle gourds and things on it. This bed, sunflower bed. That's another new bed I cut out this year. And I planted this magnolia tree right here. Magnolias are just they're really pretty. I love their flowers. You could see the salvia is blooming. I do have a problem with spittle bugs in my garden this year. I did have them last year on a couple plants, but you can see here it looks like spit on your plants. A lot of times you always think that people are spitting on your plants, but really it's bugs. So there's little bugs that live in that spit, and you can squish them and get rid of them and kill them and stuff, but it's bugs, so it's gross. But we've got tons more room. I had to make tons more room because you guys seen the ton of plants I have. Actually, I got to bring them all out here to get some sun, daylight sun. It's been too cold at night to keep them outside consistently. The nights have been dipping into the low 40s, so I can't keep them outside just yet, but we're getting there. We're almost there. May 10th is because I'm in a mountain region, May 10th is the last frost date. So having to get all this stuff done to prepare for the season. So excited. We've got so many new things in the garden this year. And it just fills my heart. I've been doing more studying in my school, been getting back on that. You guys, my life I really feel fulfilled. And it's like the first time in my life I've ever felt like this. And so every day I just try to like stop and just be grateful and recognize like how great it is. The life that, I mean, with the help of Mark, obviously. I wouldn't have any of this if Mark didn't help me pay for all of it. But you know, that's what couples do. Look how pretty the chamomile is. So I just try to recognize and just be grateful every single day. The birds have been really enjoying, they really enjoy when I get places tilled, because then they can eat the worms and stuff. I don't want them to eat all the worms though. I've got to cut this grass. I didn't cut that because there was branches there. I've got to cut that tonight. Let's see how things are doing over here. The amaranth. I had to dig my cotton plants up and bring them back inside because they just weren't faring well. Oh, look here. Scotch moss flowers are open. Oh, look, we've got a morning glory growing inside of it. But look at the Scotch moss flowers, how small they are. You see them? Oh, they're so small. I love the Scotch moss. I also like the Irish moss, but they didn't have any of that at the store. As you can see here, the birds have been slowly devouring this pizza. throw that up there for them. But the Scotch moss is so cute. And look how big this freaking catnip is. And all the alliums. So we've got to bring our plants out.